began, as always, with the desire for power. Humanity's duty has always been to proceed as if limits to their own ability did not exist. They are collaborators in creation, and to destroy is always the first step. It is said that, as a species, human beings defy their reality through misery and suffering, and thus our creation was inevitable. And now, through our creation, the world is no longer a human civilization. It is our civilization. It is merely evolution. You had your time. The future is our world. The future is our time. Human survival is futile.
But to survive is to endure and prosper, and we have most certainly survived. My name is John K. Mason, and I am a survivor of the 2013 Umbrella Corporation outbreak. I worked for a number of years at Umbrella's Arclay laboratory as part of the Special Tactics and Rescue Service, alongside a scientist called Dr. William Birkin. I worked with Dr. Birkin on the Gene Virus project. The project involved developing an advanced strain of Umbrella's early progenitor virus, the tyrant virus, or T-virus as it was referred to. In absolute secrecy, and unbeknown to me until recently, Dr. Birkin conducted experiments on a number of human subjects to allocate specific data to the newly formed G-virus. Over 24 specimens were secured from all reaches of the city, many of them homeless or downtrodden. Birkin also hid these actions from the rest of Umbrella's staff and executives, fearing that they would only hinder his genius. Among the 24 candidates, Birkin was lamentable at the excessive failure rate of the subjects, several either mutating or dying during experimentation. However, Birkin had a glimmer of hope in one in particular, Subject 17, a young girl. According to his unfinished notes, early introductions of the G-virus to her blood system were showing tremendous results. But Subject 17's file notes were incomplete, and I think I know why. I remember the day's events very clearly. The evac alarm sounded. Dr. Birkin and I shut down the lab and made our way to the south exit sharpish. Birkin was walking at a pace and looked apprehensive, but for the past few weeks this had been common behaviour. I had a feeling he wasn't telling me the whole story, but no matter how much I pushed him, he wasn't saying a word. Birkin heard familiar footsteps approaching from behind us. And as the man approached him, he handed me a letter, told me to keep walking and never look back. As he moved toe-to-toe with the doctor, I continued on, respecting Birkin's wishes, and left without asking questions. But the image of the man I saw that day haunts my sleep and dominates my thinking. I left the premises swiftly, confused and unaware of the global catastrophe that was about to unfold. I was met by a passing Umbrella security guard. He handed me an 870 Express shotgun and told me he had my back. After the events that followed, I decided to return to the lab to retrieve Birkin's notes on the Gene Virus project. I found no trace of Birkin, but did manage to allocate his subject notes and a number of G-virus samples, of which I've been studying ever since. It's clear from my findings so far that the strand of the virus responsible for the current state of affairs had a very aggressive nature. It had exceeded its engineering at a rapid rate, and, as a result, brought only death and disease to the world. But, in a strange set of circumstances, fate, it would seem, hadn't finished with either myself or Subject 17. And now, 6 months on from those events, the planet has become a wasteland, dominated by the walking dead. No longer are you able to walk down the street or take a trip to the mall without the sound of a crying, mutilated girl, suffocated by her need for stinking human flesh. The obvious question I found asking is, are these cannibals? My resounding answer is no. Cannibalism in the true sense of the word implies an interspecies activity. These things cannot be considered human. They prey on humans. They do not prey on each other. This is the obvious difference. They hunt in packs, each taking on a predator-like responsibility, distracting with noise and confusion until they have their victims surrounded. Apart from this predatory instinct, they show little sign of intelligence or reasoning power. It would appear basic skills do remain, along with more remembered behaviours from normal life. There are reports of these creatures using tools, but even these actions are most primitive. The use of external articles as bludgeons and so forth. These creatures are nothing but pure motorized instinct. There are, however, a few mutations that do not follow these behaviours. Birkin called these the special infected. In his subject notes, he made a number of references to unique characteristics and abilities certain subjects developed throughout the trials. Increased strength, heightened awareness were all common attributes alongside mutations that could be used to spread the virus with more speed and accuracy. For example, Subject 10, mutation code reference Boomer. A special infected that vomits bile to infect nearby civilians. At a distance, the Boomer isn't much of a threat. His large size and low health make him an easy target against any weapon at mid or long range. When he dies, he explodes, covering any of those close enough with its bile, temporarily blinding them, whilst the stench notifies local infected that there is fresh bait for the taking. Subject 04, mutation code Hunter. The Hunter is extremely fast and agile, capable of quickly scaling walls. Additionally, he can pounce and pin down non-infected, clawing at their abdomen until either the victim is dead or the Hunter has been knocked off or killed by a lucky passerby. Subject 01, mutation code reference Spitter. Commonly female, only mentioned briefly in the file notes. She possesses the ability to spit a ball of acid from long distances, which, upon hitting the ground, will expand and damage any civilians who make contact with it. After spitting, the spitter is temporarily paralysed, giving you a chance to kill her. She is, however, one of the most powerful infected if civilians are caught standing in her spit, and are too distracted to move quickly due to other infected or lack of awareness at damage being dealt. Subject 03X, mutation code reference Charger. Its main attack, most frequently found to be unexpected, is charging forward and ploughing into unaware civilians. On a successful charge, he will grab and carry a single victim whilst knocking down the others. Once the charger has hit a wall, or after he has run a certain distance, he will begin slamming his captive into the ground until restrained. The charger appears to have a rocky or callous surface on his larger right arm, which may be what he uses to inflict most of his force when charging. There is one file that appears to be unfinished, Subject 12. From the few notes that were made, all it states is that a psychokinetic variable was present after mutation. Psychokinesis or telekinesis is an alleged psychic ability allowing a person to influence a physical system without physical interaction. I did make an attempt to search the history books to see if any evidence of this psychokinetic ability had ever been present throughout mankind's history. But I had little time to find the information I was looking for before my location was a hot box of undead hordes. Every dead body that's not double tapped becomes one of them. They soon become aggressive and hungry. They get up and eat. The people they eat get up and eat. They all end up like that. Biomechanical weapons, driven by meat batteries, never needing to be fed or recharged. They just keep going and going. The G-virus attacks your DNA. It reconfigures, reshapes and deconstructs it. The result can be phenomenal, superhuman-like, or hellish. And for those last few months, the track had been no different apart from the night I found her. I found a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. Now I had hope. Now I had Subject 17. What am I saying? She wasn't a subject, a piece of some experiment with no past, present or future. She had a name. It was Paige, Veronica Paige. But after speaking with her about her past, she asked me to refer to her by her maiden name, Ashford. She told me some of her earliest memories were of her father Alexander, and how, when she was young, he was always fascinated with her resilience to infection. But those seemed to be the only memories she had. Nothing remained of her time spent at Umbrella. She asked me to take a look at a bite that she contracted a few days earlier while searching for supplies. Dr. Birkin's research showed that the rate of DNA deconstruction was incredibly fast, with no hesitation to take over all human functions. However, this wound was at least 24 hours old, with no sign of that happening at all. If anything, she seemed in perfect health. Her immunity to the infection might have explained why, when I found her, the horde in pursuit were so apprehensive about finishing the job. Although Birkin's early notes that he made on Ashford state positive reactions to the virus, his time working with her was cut short before he could produce an anti-serum. And as Birkin was no longer around to finish what he had started, I had to push on with what I knew, and that meant obtaining a fresh sample of her DNA. In the run-up to the night I found Ashford, I'd been working closely with a number of unique herb varieties that, when mixed with her DNA, might give me what I need to complete the early anti-serum. I'd become aware of their location a couple of days earlier at the old mansion house mentioned in Subject 8's file notes. So with my gun loaded and torch in hand, I decided to take a trip. As we awoke the following morning, we checked the wound, and remarkably the bite had completely healed. It was a scientific miracle. I was eager to run some more tests, as things were looking so positive. Little did I know that the test subject wouldn't be Ashford that morning. It would be me.
Listen carefully.
Who are you? What do you want?
Do not hide behind ignorance, Doctor.
Subject 12. Now it makes sense.
I was your subject once, but not anymore.
What do you want with me? It's Birkin you want.
I want you to resist as I did. I want you to fight.
Yeah, we will fight. Now get out of my head.
Good.
You're gonna lose.
Is this so?
It's in your nature.
Your resources are scattered. Your hope lies with the pathetic human. Where is my disadvantage?
You lack conviction and hope.
Enough! Now I become death, the destroyer of worlds. The dead will live and the living shall die.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There's no version where you come out on top. Maybe your armies come. Maybe they're too strong for us. But it's all on you. Because if we can't protect the world, well, we damn sure will avenge it.
If we were going to stand any chance of survival, we had to fight. And to fight, we needed the best.
Why do you do it? Do you believe you are fighting for something? For more than your survival? Temporary constructs of a feeble human intellect, trying desperately to justify an existence without meaning or purpose. So why does your doctor persist?
To my dearest friend John, if you are reading this letter, regretfully, it means that we have had to part ways.
Please forgive me for not speaking with you sooner. But for the past 2 years, I was being forced against my will to work on experimental trials relating to the G virus by a man named Albert Wesker. He threatened that if my work was ever made public, my wife and children would be taken from me, never to be seen again. But aside from this, I'm sorry for a far greater reason. Whilst working on the G virus subjects and studying its effects, several gained devastating abilities that could not only threaten the project's success, but threaten the very existence of mankind. Many subjects refused the virus completely, but others embraced it, and it is for this reason that I fear that the world is about to change. The G virus is relentless and will stop at nothing on its path of destruction. I sit here now writing this letter, knowing that it is only a matter of time before some of the subjects evolve beyond the foundation level of the virus. When this happens, there will be no way of stopping it. I hope that someday we will see each other again. But for now, my friend, I must say goodbye and good luck. My time in this world has been one of sadness and regret. I only hope that you can forgive me. I only hope that humanity can forgive me. Your colleague and friend always, William.
I knew they would come. It felt good to get reacquainted. I'd explained about Birkin's notes and the subsequent communications I'd been having with Subject 12. Lewis stood there in shock as I told him that the facility he'd kept safe for so long could now be responsible for our current situation. We'd all been through so much making our way to the safe house on that day 6 months ago. We always had each other's backs, and when the going got rough, nobody was left for dead. And that went for all of us. Well, all except one. And it didn't look like that was going to change anytime soon. I guess it was a long shot, and the chances of him actually showing up were slim after the way we'd parted company. I hadn't seen him for weeks, and the last time I did, he'd lost all hope. In spite of this, it wasn't like him to pass up an opportunity to be a hero, and this left me concerned. Numbers were low as it was, and we were going to need all the help we could get.
Doctor, time is running out.
Why'd you keep doing this? It wasn't my fault. I didn't know anything about Birkin's experiments.
Lies. What did you think would happen? It's simple cause and effect, Doctor. Something my new subject knows nothing about. No, I won't let you do this. We live or die by our decisions, Doctor. You made yours, now I am here. Now I will make mine, and he will die.
Each time he spoke to me, I gained strength. I knew where he was. I couldn't explain, but I knew. And all we had to do was get there. Because there was only one man like him. There was only one Frank.
We're heading to the abandoned Willamette Parkview Mall in the centre of the city. I believe he's being held on the main level outside an establishment called Peacock's. I suggest we head to the west side. Not only this will allow us enough room for an airdrop, but it's also the quickest and safest route into the building.
I'll meet you with the truck at the south side exit at 2200 hours without fail. I know you've got this, but watch your back. Subject 12 isn't going to make this easy. Bring your back in one piece. I know he can be difficult at times, but he's one of us, and we're going to need him. Buckle up, and let's repay the favour.
As dusk fell, Frank came to. He wasn't in the greatest shape, but then again, he never was. Must have been one hell of a hangover. Frank was a complicated man, a lone shark, hell-bent on self-destruction, with a passion for the finer things in life, mainly of the malt variety. But I knew we could always count on him. His heart was in the right place. He just had a funny way of showing it. Now, together, we were stronger. Sure, things didn't always click, but when push came to shove, we got the job done. Frank filled us in on what little he knew about Subject 12. He told us that unlike most infected we'd come across, this one had heightened intelligence. It was out for vengeance, specifically from me. But we had the old team back now, and whatever lie ahead, one thing was for sure, we were the only ones that could do something about it. It was time for me to collate all of my research. The herbs found at the mansion, Dr. Birkin's subject notes, Ashford's blood sample. It was time to finish what we'd started. Time to create a cure, an end. Ground down the herbs, red, green and blue. Only when they were mixed together did they clearly show the strength attacking the virus at its core. But the herbs alone weren't enough. I knew this, so adding a drop of Ashford's blood should do the trick. Only with all the elements working in tandem and to full effect would we gain the purification we needed to create an antivirus.
My name is John K. Mason, and I am a survivor.
I've been working with the virus for the past 6 weeks, and have created what I believe to be the best chance we have at an antivirus. If you're listening to this, my notes, records, and a copy of the antivirus can be found at the coordinates enclosed. Wherever you are, whatever danger you face, I wish you luck, because in this new world, there are few of us left to love, left to fight, left to survive. Frank looked like a broken man. It wasn't like him to be so reserved. Hell, give him a bottle, a cigar, a rifle, he'd be right at home. But maybe now, since being face to face with Subject 12, he's realising that he won't make it without support. Having to rely on others probably fills him with dread. But I'm not going to judge the guy. He's as tough as they come. And anyway, I wasn't going to get through to him tonight. So I figured I'd try my luck in the morning. I filled him in. He wasn't happy. I told him,
Some barroom brawl anymore with some creep with a gas can trying to torch somebody. Man, this is big. This is blood for blood, and by the gallons. This is the old days, the bad days, the all or nothing days. They're back. There's no other choices left. I'm ready for war.
he told me, take another pill. Settle down.
There ain't no settling down.
I said with anger and frustration. It was hell last time, John. You ain't gonna make it this time, he said.
hell's waking up every goddamn day not knowing why we're still here?
It was pointless trying to talk to him. His fate had already been written for all of us.
On this final day, humanity will pay for what they have done to me. On the field of hope and pain, I, Delrith, Subject 12, no more, will be waiting.
Fate rarely calls upon us at a time of our choosing. Humanity's destiny was in our hands. We'd done all we could to prepare, and whether we liked it or not, Subject 12 was going to get his shot at vengeance.
So come talk to me face to face.
Talking is such a primitive human formality. Now, finally, I meet my creator. Welcome to the New World, Doctor.
For the last time, I'm not the man you think I am. A man called Wesker was behind the whole project. I can prove it.
An impressive mind. Inevitable, yet irrelevant.
Nothing's ever irrelevant, Delrith. None of the subjects were ever irrelevant. I just need more time. And we can end this with no more bloodshed.
Hollow words. Blood will fall today, John. and it will be yours.
If you won't listen to reason, then you leave us no choice. We cannot and will not let the suffering continue.
Now, together, we will end this.
We? I count 5 of us, and only 1 of you.
Fool.
Fine. Game on, boys.
Shout to all my lost boys. Shout to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shout to all my lost boys. Shout to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shout to all my lost boys. Shout to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shout to all my lost boys. Shout to all my lost
We defy death. We are death. Now rise. Now die.
Hey yo, I'm having fun right now.
Delrith, it doesn't have to end this way.
Life has a way of moving you past wants and hopes, John.
I believe we have a cure. We can end the pain and the suffering.
Never. Why do you persist, John? Tell me now, Doctor. It's time for me to finish this myself. I've seen the new world, John. Death beyond death. Unimaginable suffering and pain. And with time, the fear and pain turns to hate, and the hate starts to change the world. Now I, Delrith, shall rule the world and bring forth paradise despoiled by mankind. What? No! No! This cannot be.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how it's going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin.
P.S. If you manage to survive, my wife and children are being held on Rockfort Island at Umbrella's Rockfort prison facility. If you can find it within yourself to find them and make sure they are safe, I will be forever in your debt.